crazy they're having you study Mark Zuckerberg.
It is. It is a little crazy to have me studying with Zuckerberg. I think that finding out more about his character is pretty interesting too.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because you never actually know how a person really is, and through studying their character, you can actually learn a lot.
Yes, you can.
And so far, like, if you want my honest opinion, I like the fact that he made Facebook, but he seems like a total.
Well, okay, you gotta remember, it is a movie, so some of it is embellished, right?
Right.
But a lot of it was
There's.
very true. So, yes, he is exactly, I mean, according to the movie, he is a psychopath. But as we've discussed a couple of times, psychopaths actually make very great business.
Yeah.
You know, everybody has this misconception that psychopaths are just murderers when no. And there's a lot more psychopaths walking around this earth than people think.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure you'll learn about that in psychology.
More than likely. I mean, I'm really excited about that class too because you never exactly know what you're going to learn.
Oh, psychology is fun. It really is. That was one of my favorite classes.
Do you feel like you learned a lot from it?
Yeah, I did.
I mean, like, secretly I've been studying anthropology and didn't realize it.
You know, to an extent, everybody studies anthropology. They just don't recognize it as anthropology. Marketing is a level of anthropology. Because what is marketing? Figuring out how to reach people.
Yeah.
So, wouldn't that be a form of anthropology ultimately?
Yeah, it would.
But okay, so what is anthropology broken up into? Do you know?
I do not.
Okay, anthropology covers anthropology, which can be archaeology, cultural anthropology, stuff like that. Okay.
So, see, and I'd be studying the cultural because of what I've been doing.
Okay, but hang on, there's more to anthropology than that, honey. There's also sociology, which is the study of humans and groups. And then there's psychology, which is the study of the human brain.
Yeah.
So it all coincides with each other. And when you learn anthropology, you learn a bit of everything, and then you can decide what part you want to learn. Primatology is actually anthropology also.
Really?
Yes. Well, it's the study of humans, and don't they believe that evolution?
Yeah.
I don't know how else to put that, but evolution, you know? So, therefore, by studying primates, we are studying our origins according to them.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool. I really do.
No, it's epic. I mean, you never really fully know what you're gonna learn.
Exactly. Exactly. It is tough though, because sometimes you get into some really heavy subjects.
Isn't that also the same with not social psychology?
Oh yeah, psychology. Oof, that's a deep, deep well. And there's so many different aspects of psychology that it's absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry, Kat, are you okay, bud?
but that's where sociology and all of that comes in. You know, one of the things that they talk about is how humans are very social creatures. And we do really stupid shit to be part of our social group because that is how ingrained in our DNA.
You okay, Connor?
Okay?
No, he's okay.
He's just mad because the cone.
No, he
Well,
just. Yeah.
But it's so ingrained in our DNA, but we also, like, some people are very solitary people and don't require that. And that's all based on where you were raised, how you were raised, you know, things that, I mean, there's so many different levels to all of it. And, yeah. And I think one of my favorite studies was the Kong and the Yamalomas.
Yeah.
And their societies are very interesting. I mean, they don't like outsiders very much. But one of my teachers actually lived with both of them. One of them for like 10 years and the other one for like 7, I don't think he said.
Mm-hmm.
But he actually wrote the anthropology books for the school that I went to. And they actually, yeah, they sell them at a lot of colleges. And
Yeah.
you know what my one problem with him was?
What?
And it was an argument because you know me. He says that animals don't have souls.
Yes, they do.
And I'm like, I don't believe that for an instant because cats and dogs actually name their children.
Don't all animals
Ducks
name their
do
children?
too. I mean, just in what I know for sure that I've actually seen and experienced, I know that there are certain animals, and well, you know, what is a soul? That's where it comes into the sketchy area with that comment is what is a soul? And there was actually a group of scientists that did this really cool experiment. It's kind of morbid, but I was fascinated by it. They weighed somebody while they were dying.
Mm-hmm.
And right after they died, they became lighter by a few ounces.
Yeah.
And they were saying that basically it was the soul. I mean, I don't know. That's not really proof. I mean, because we all know that the first thing that happens when you die is what?
You
expel everything in your body.
Yeah.
So that could explain some of it, but you know, I don't know exactly how the test went, but they're saying that it was basically they believe it was the soul leaving the body. And then you got to think about the fact that energy never ends. It can transfer to something else, but once energy has started, it doesn't end. So if our soul is energy, then where does that energy go?
Yeah.
It's like a wormhole. It is seriously a wormhole.
It sounds like a
But
wormhole.
if you go back in history to different stuff throughout that, you get a more innocent look at the way people used to view the world. And I think the cave paintings were always my favorite. Did you know that they actually, and I'm probably going to butcher the name because I'm English, not French, but the LaCrue cave paintings, they started having a problem because of the tourists that just the breathing the carbon dioxide out was destroying the paintings on the walls. So they shut it down.
Mm.
And instead of never letting anybody see it again to preserve it, they created an exact replica of it. And that's where you can go and see what's in the cave paintings and stuff. It's actually really neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was reading about it when they were building it. That was like a long ass time ago, but it's a cool idea, you know? I wish they would get on some of these people that restore. Okay, what about the Sistine Chapel and them restoring it?
Did they really?
Yes, they restored the Sistine Chapel. And it looks way different than it did. But one of the things that was a big debate when they were doing it was altering it. Because Michelangelo used a very dark dark palette, and he used a varnish that actually added a little darkness to it. And you gotta understand that the paints that he used were made out of egg and pigment.
Yeah.
So you had to seal it because what happens with egg?
It rots?
Yes. But the varnish had a tint to it, so it was very dark. And if you look at anything that Michelangelo put out, it was always very dark colored, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so they went back and they took away that darkness.
Is your dog okay?
Well, you know what it is.
Mm.
But they took that away and they restored it. And, you know, as an anthropologist, I get frustrated when they do that because a lot of artwork has been destroyed by people trying to redo it. And does that not just make it a copy of what it used to be since it wasn't the original artist?
Yeah.
So there's a fine line between whether, in my eyes, of whether restoration should happen or not. What do you think about it?
I don't think restoration should happen, but that's because the originals should be just the originals.
Is the thing made to stand the test of time other than that arch in fucking Hiroshima? I'm sorry, that's just how it works. I mean, there's buildings, there's stuff, but things are not meant to last forever, right?
Right. Right.
And yes, historically, it would be a shame to lose that stuff, but, you know, like they found out in Armenia, it can happen in the blink of an eye and a bomb blows up your most prized fucking building. You know, so, and that's part of the problem with humans is we get so attached to things.
We do.
I think the funniest thing ever, going back to the cave paintings, when Homo sapien was no longer nomadic and settled down, did you know that they still drew on their walls?
Really?
Yes. What do we do to this day? We decorate our walls.
We paint them.
Well, we decorate them because the cave paintings weren't actually like, oh, I want this another color. It was actually a religion. A lot of what it depicts was their religion. And their religion was literally like attracts like. I'm going to draw this picture of me hunting this animal, and then I'm going to go out and I'm going to hunt this animal and I'm going to kill it.
Guilford. Silly dog.
But I don't know. People don't want to learn about anthropology.
fascinating. Like, I've been studying the urban legends, and that has a lot of culture in it too.
Well, as you've learned, that urban legends always hold some degree of truth to
That they do.
it. I mean, and okay, when you think about it, they have actually pinpointed a couple urban legends, well, quite a few of them actually, to what they believe was actually the reason for it, like the guy with no face.
Yeah.
Okay, the urban legend is that he kidnaps kids and kills people, right? But he turned out to be this really nice guy that lost his face in the fucking war.
Yeah.
And would go walk at night because he scared people. And what does that tell you about our culture? That became the story instead of this nice man.
We created monsters.
Or maybe we are the monsters.
It would feel like it.
Well, you know that saying, it's something managers always say. And I've said it way too many times myself because, well, you know, people need to know it. But you do something good, people tell 10 people. You do something bad, they tell 100. Do you see how urban legends can get to that point?
Yeah.
And you remember playing telephone as a kid? Where there's a sentence and you have to pass it to each of the kids, and by the time it gets to the end of it, it's nothing near what it used to be?
Yeah.
I would lay bets that some of these urban legends, if you went back to the bard songs before the 15th century and so on and so forth, you would find some of them there.
It's that thing I was telling you about again last night with the follower thing.
Yeah.
I still say I'm gonna do it organically. Organic.
Yeah. Organic. No tea.
Organic.
Organic. Well,
That's my dyslexia speaking, because I want to put a T in there somewhere.
I know. And it didn't help that you have Dr. or Mrs. Seuss for a mother.
It's okay.
You know, my parents used to always correct my English because they were both English majors. So now I just make up whatever fucking word I think fits for the most part. Until I can't think of a word that would fit. And then I'm like, I have no clue. Goobly-gook.
I'm the same way.
Goobly-gook. Doesn't sound very good, but goobly-gook.
Is your dog okay?
You know what's wrong.
No, I mean, like, is his paw feeling any better?
I don't know. It's still kind of swollen, but it's not as big as it was earlier.
You just gotta make it through the night, Mom.
I gave him this last time in the water later.
You know, you gave him his last Tylenol.
He tried to spit it out, but he had already swallowed it.
That's great.
Oh, that little shitty dog, man.
Outsmart
It should not be that hard to outsmart a freaking dog.
Yet it is.
I'm just a sucker for the dingo. with the stupid cone on. Take it off. Stop chewing on it. So painful. No music bouncing now. I'm all like, what?
You look at that. It's starting to look pretty damn good.
Yeah.
It's just a little hill right now, but we'll get that fixed. As I sculpt more. Digital sculpting. Oh, that was a little too big.
It's a very cool medium.
That it is.
It really is.
Amazed by it.
Yeah. You know, I have learned enough that I am disillusioned by art, especially like movies and shit. I remember when everything used to be magical, and I'm like, wow, how'd they do that? And photography. If people knew the shit that photographers pull, they would be so fucking mad.
I bet they would be.
Well, okay, first off, the food shots that people do for like commercial stuff isn't even really the food that they say it is, or it's got stuff on it or whatnot. And the cars, 9 times out of 10, are models.
3D models to be exact.
No, we're talking before, and there are a lot of companies that do models of the car. They do exact replicas, only smaller, and they take a picture of the car that way. And I've seen some pretty realistic ones. I mean, I was reading this article about it, and they showed these pictures that were just freaking amazing of this Lamborghini, I think it was. And then they showed you how he did it. And it was literally a little car in a light box.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of those really, really cool nature shots where the moon's really big over the mountains and shit is actually multiple pictures. Don't you mouth off at me, grumbly man. Well, why'd you go and get stuck?
Did you get stuck?
Why'd you go and get stuck, buddy? I know. Hopefully tomorrow you can take it off, okay? I know this thing sucks. You like to flop around.
Dog in a cone, cone in a dog.
You get caught on stuff, poor baby. But if you wouldn't chew at it, we wouldn't have to keep it on you. Now, okay, this dog is such a drama king when it comes to the cone. He acts like it's killing him. Okay, best scenario here. Tell me if I'm right here. When they put the rope on Gollum's leg.
Yes.
With a little bit more attitude. Yes.
That's freaking hilarious.
Crazy dude.
Oh, but we love him anyway.
Oh, my baby.
Where is this?
So I don't know. What do you want to talk about?
Well,
Pokemon? What?
wow. Oh, you took it there, huh?
I took it there. Oh, I did. I took it there. That was probably one of the cutest things you ever did.
As a child,
And we could talk about Pokemon.
what's your favorite Pokemon? Lickitung.
Actually, it's a toss-up between two of them because I can't pick one.
Gengar.
Gengar and...
I want to say Charizard, but...
No, the bitchy Pokemon I can't get in my goddamn game because they don't give me any fucking magic card.
Oh, there it is. You used to like Lickitung, too.
I do like Lickitung, but my top two have always been...
Those two?
Lickitung was kind of a joke, but you were too young to get it.
Oh. Now that I'm older, I do understand it now. Haha.
And besides, the only thing that can beat Lickitung is Psyduck.
Ain't that a real pain in the butt?
Ooh, I have a Golduck, though. Those Golducks are pretty badass, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not really digging a lot of the new Pokemon. And I know a few animals that should be Pokemon.
Like the dingo?
No, like the AA. Dude, would that not be the perfect Pokemon? Or the little horned cowfish. Yeah, there's a lot of animals that I could totally see as Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too. Try getting some someday. We'll be right.
Hang on a second.
We'll be right back. Give us a minute. Hi. How you doing tonight? But, yeah, no, you know what else we could talk about?
What?
I got Linkin Park songs stuck in my head.
Which one?
I don't know. Isn't he dead? It's okay.
I know. I am just old enough to remember the original Batman on TV.
Mac and cheese. Mac and cheese is yummy.
Hey, mac and cheese is life. Is that Tubbs?
Yep.
Did you like it?
Did you watch it? Please tell me you watched it. If you could have any superpower every Friday for 4 hours, what would it be? Goodness. Oh, his client was up and down last night, so he couldn't watch it. It's okay, one of these days you'll watch it with us. God, that's actually a hard question. It'd probably be The Fly. Yeah, because then I could be anywhere.
Okay, so you gotta be a bit more specific than that because the universe has got a really sick sense of humor. It may give you owl or butterfly wings, and you wouldn't be flying in the air. You'd be like, la, 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 ah, la, la, ah.
Yeah, watching me fly with butterfly wings. That would be freaking hilarious. I'd fly right into a freaking light.
Yeah. Or a great horned owl. Yeah.
That'd be entertaining.
I'd be able to fly like an eagle and have the talons of a harpy eagle. So it's gotta be that specific.
I just want to fly like the superheroes do in the movies.
Which one?
No, you know what? I'd much rather be Deadpool for 4 hours. Have his superpower where I don't die and I can regenerate limbs and stuff.
What if you don't regenerate the limb in 4 hours?
I think I could live without an arm or a leg.
Okay, but you know, he get ripped to shreds?
Yeah.
Okay, so what happens if that happens and you can't get back together quick enough and you die? Or you literally have that limb never ever again?
I think I could live without that limb.
For 4 hours of being Deadpool?
Yeah.
Wow.
You know why I say that?
Why?
Because then I could be a badass and I could just, yeah.
You already are a badass.
It's coming along nicely.
See, now, okay, the question I have is who's giving the superpower, Murphy or the universe, or is it just like Stan Lee kind of stuff? Because that's a big question as to what I would pick, because if it was Murphy, I'd be like nothing. If it was the universe, I'd be very, very specific.
Hey, I'm done, Coda. Telekinesis from Akira. I'd be flying, walking things.
Oh, Tetsuo. Yeah, you remember what happened to Tetsuo, though, right? See, but you gotta answer my question, because if it's like Stan Lee superpowers, I'd want to be Chitara.
Good point.
I don't know if she's per se a superhero, but
Or Iron Man's superpowers.
But Iron Man doesn't have any superpowers. He's got gadgets. So you couldn't do Iron Man or
Well then fuck
Batman.
that, I'd be Thor.
Okay, there you go. But you couldn't be Iron Man or Batman
Or
because
Loki.
they really have no special powers.
Some random god from any religion, any comic, etc. Totally fine.
Okay, I was like, oh, tell me it wasn't Loki you chose. We were watching The Mask today with the girls.
Yeah.
Now, I still maintain my answer. I'd be Chitara. But if you were picking the gadgets and stuff, I'd be one of the people from Voltron.
Okay.
I know you know Voltron. You better remember Voltron.
I do remember Voltron. Can you please give your dog some sleep?
That's not what it is. Oh, no. Yeah, I think that Tetsuo's powers, only to be able to control them, would have been badass, too. Yeah.
I'm Akira.
Oh, or how about Dr. Doolittle? Could I be Dr. Doolittle?
You can give Dr. Doolittle.
Huh, that's a tough choice. That's a real tough choice.
Well, if you could have a different superpower every Friday.
Can it be a different superpower every Friday, or do I have to have the same one? And do I get rid of my superpower that I have the rest of the week? Or is that incorporated in the new superpower? Ah.
Where's Josh when you're in the middle of one of these conversations? I want to know his answer.
Okay, well, I've always maintained that my superpower is I'm invisible. I can be in a room with 500 people and nobody knows I'm there. Or says they didn't know I was there. So, okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I can be invisible when I want to be. So would I have to give that up?
I don't know.
He had to go, didn't he?
Give him a minute to type.
No! He should type fast like me and have it already ready to send before I even ask my question.
He's dyslexic like I am. So.
I'm just kidding.
Asking a dyslexic to be fast is going to give you a bunch of spelling errors and...
You know what? As long as it's phonetic, I can cope. But then again, I've told you, I fuck up words so bad sometimes words like, yep. Was that French or some other thing you were trying to say? Because I got nothing in English for you, lady. And by the way, this whole sentence doesn't make any fucking sense at all.
She deleted the player
What?
start thing.
What?
The player start. That made it easier for me, so that means I have more free reign than I need right now, but it works because now I could actually...
Oh, please say that's not really bad. Sorry.
It's hella bad.
Name this movie.
Hey, he said I didn't actually hear the question. I was in the other room, sorry.
What?
He was in the other room.
Oh, I said, do I have to give up my superpower that I have the rest of the week when I take on the other superpower?
I've accepted shit at spelling, so it really doesn't matter to me if I hurt people's brains trying to read. Yes, only lasts 4 hours every Friday. The rest of the week, you're a normal human.
I'm not a normal human. I have a superpower. So do I give up my superpower? I was explaining I'm invisible. That's my superpower during the rest of the time. So do I have to give that up for this? Because I think I'd much rather be invisible.
Oh. Oh.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll just stick with being invisible all the time. Oh, hey, I meant to ask. I don't remember the date of it, but we should ask Mr. Tubbs if he would like to go see the Flowbots with us.
Yeah.
Because I would like to get tickets for it.
You want to go see the Flowbots with us?
I gave him a date. It's not until this summer, so we can plan ahead.
If I can make it, I'd love to.
Okay, so when I do the tickets, I'll get 3 of them.
Okay. What about the kids?
Well, yeah.
Oh,
It's at the Levitt Pavilion.
That's right. Kids don't need tickets, do they?
Yeah, I think they do, but it's a given.
Okay.
And it's kind of like Fiddler's Green, but not quite. And there's a place in the back that's pretty much lawn that the girls can run around and do whatever, and we can still see the show.
Okay.
I've seen Johnny Five perform many times, but I've never seen the Flowbots.
I am excited. I love the Flowbots.
I am too.
And taking the girls is a great thing.
Yes. And who knows what might happen. I might scratch another thing off my bucket list.
Shooting the Flowbots?
Yes. Now, I set my goal for the year. I'm not going to say what it is, but I set my big goal for the year. And it's not one I'm going to be heartbroken if it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And I have my first shoot of the year set up. That's always a fun one.
You know, shoots are always a good thing too.
Yeah. I've just been waiting. I want to see what happens, with the vaccines and, I don't know who to fucking believe. So at this point, until they tell me that we are 100% safe, I can't chance it. I mean, I could see going out to some places, but to a concert with 500 people or 100 people or however many people they are allowing at this point, I can't see it right now. But if I bring something that severe of a cold home, it could be detrimental to Leilani.
Yeah. You got children to worry about.
And it's not a chance I'm willing to take. But yeah, I'm at least going back in October because the one show, but there's a show in October too that.
Yeah.
And my contingency on the Flowbots concert is that things are not out of control with what's going on in the world. If shit's crazy again, we're not going.
Okay.
I don't care how much I want to see him, we're not going to do it. Although it would be nice to see James again. It's been quite a few years.
Should I impress him this time if they bring a bass?
It's not like that. I haven't seen him do, I haven't seen him do benefits for quite a few years. I mean, it's not saying that he hasn't done them, but they let go of Flowbots.org.
Oh no.
No, they've got some other stuff that's going on, and it's basically what they do. That's why I respect these guys so much, is that I was there for the launch of Art from Ashes.
Yeah.
And that's what the benefit was that I went down and shot. And, I mean, it was some cool stuff. They've done some really amazing fucking things for the community. And it's all based around kids.
Sounds like an amazing human being.
Yes. But it's not just him, it's the whole band, honey. And that's
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying, is like, they're all fucking amazing. Like,
but see, that's why I get so harsh with some of these groups that are like, oh, there was these people that came in one night, and I was okay with it, and then they started playing a rendition of Handlebars.
mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, cool, one of my favorite songs. And I'm like shooting and having a good time, and then the words start hitting me. And I looked over at the person standing next to me. I'm not going to name names, but I was like, did they really just say that? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, all right, I'm out. And I walked out, and I've never shot them since. No, my thing is that, there are some people that I just feel are not deserving of that shit. And to take their track and talk shit about them on their own track, that is beyond anything anybody needs to do.
Yeah. It's, wow. This world is so cool.
No, it's the new thing in the music industry, it seems.
What, taking other people's
No,
stuff?
beefing with everybody. And I'm assuming it was some sort of diss track, but I was like, oh, I ain't even listening to this shit. And I walked out.
It's starting to look pretty good.
Let's see, does that speak volumes? Okay, let's go back to anthropology with this information, okay? What does that tell you about the culture that we live in?
That we're some really effed up people.
Well, okay, stop and think about it. If something negative happens to you, you tell 100 people. Something positive, you tell 10. Okay, so why would that be a way that people think they can get noticed? Because when you're speaking negative things, you attract negative people, and negativity loves to be around negativity, right? Because it validates it. So what does that tell you about our society?
That we look at the bad more than we do the good.
Exactly. I mean, I can't say anymore because I have not watched the news, and I can't have like decades at this point. I think it's been, but Oh, look at the news. You know what's funny? Did you watch the Ted Bundy documentary with me?
I think I did.
Do you remember me telling you many years ago why I wouldn't watch the news?
Yeah.
And it started when I was like, oh God, I can't remember. I was like still a teenager, I want to say, but it was because of Ted Bundy. Do you remember what I said?
I don't.
Ah, it was in that documentary. Okay, I get that he was a serial killer and he was a horrible human being, but they literally went on national TV and told everybody to turn their electricity off at this specific time so they would have more electricity to fry him.
Mm.
Okay, what does that say? What does that honestly say? And why did the news say that? Isn't the news supposed to be impartial?
Mm-hmm.
So why are they telling you to turn your electricity out so they have more electricity to kill this guy?
I don't know.
Yeah. I tried watching the news again a few years after that, and I was getting ready for work, and I had it on as I was doing what I needed to do, and I look over, and it shows an abortion clinic protest where some guy ran over a bunch of protesters. Okay, this is what they show on the news constantly. Why do you think everybody's so negative?
Because the news is so negative.
Well, we are conditioned to be this way. Okay, nature versus nurture. Some people are just shit people. Okay, that's just how it is. But a lot of people are taught to be that way.
Yeah. I've seen it. Not gonna name names, but you've seen it too.
It's all over the place. It's all over the news, you know. And I know I'm one of them to the hilt, but the world has a sick fascination with murderers. Right?
Right. That they do.
Well, if you even look at art from our age, I mean, look at the art now. It's so different, and it just, I don't know.
It's ever evolving.
I like the dark side of things, but some stuff just goes too far. And then it seems like in this world anymore, you have the choice between bubblegum and the dark side.
I could see that.
Yeah.
In a world full of Harley Quinn and Jokers, you're Ripley.
Yeah, Fiona. Sweet and loving, but take no shit.
You talking about from Shrek?
Yes. You goddamn onion.
Hey, you know, I have plenty of layers.
And we live in a disposable society these days. And that is literally what it's come down to. It is we are a disposable society.
Yeah. I can see it. There's no yin and yang anymore.
Exactly.
Exciting with yin, there's no balance anymore.
Exactly.
That's a really good aspect to look at.
Well, see, the yin yang was supposed to explain how everything and everyone is dualistic. And for everything good, there is something bad. You know, all of the good in the world still contains some bad. And people will say, I've heard several philosophers say, you can do all the good in the world, but because of your good, somewhere something bad is going to happen. Kind of goes along with the butterfly effect.
Like my little canyon zipper.
Oh, how about that creepypasta we were listening to?
Which one?
The one where a dude has this mystery thing on his computer and tells him to do all of this shit.
Yeah.
That one, that's exactly what that is. And you know what drives us crazy as humans? Not knowing if it's fate, coincidence, or just all random. Because we have to put a label on things to be able to comprehend them.
Sounds about right.
Well, there's a lot of stuff that our brains aren't meant to be able to comprehend. Like, okay, did you know that birds see like 10 times more colors than we do?
Yeah.
Like, have you seen a blackbird in the coloring a bird would see it? That's fucking beautiful. So, the world is our perception of what we're inputting into our brain.
Yeah, it just gave me a really messed up realization of why I'm so negative all the time.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's just every time you tell me I need to enjoy the little things and stuff like that, it's just some days it's hard.
Okay, did you see Leilani's reaction to the cactuses today?
I did.
She hasn't looked at them in a while, and that was just such a beautiful moment.
It was. I also picked her up and was spinning with her and Rowan at some point too.
But it's things like that that you need to enjoy because it is stuff like that that brings you the most joy.
It is.
It's like we were talking about. Everybody thinks that happiness is in something when you have to decide that this is going to make you happy. Okay, Lonnie was excited because we grew that. They're cactuses now. She's been waiting for them to not just be spikes and leaves.
No, it's the happiness from a child that just brings joy, you know?
Okay, but what does that tell you about your life?
I need to start enjoying it.
If you can see the world through a child's eyes and never lose that, you see all the wonders in the world. Okay, when my first sunflower comes in. Okay, what happened when I noticed the cherry blossoms out back?
You got all excited.
I was like Lonnie with the fucking cactuses. First flowers of the year other than dandelions. And those damn purple flowers that grow everywhere. So yes, that's exciting. That means that everything's about to start turning green again and, you know.
Yeah.
So you decide what makes you happy and what excites you.
You know, my son basil, and it makes me happy.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong. It's a weeping basil. That's what I'm saying. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, you know, I wasn't expecting an actual plant.
Yeah, that's okay.
That actually made me happy. Plants are amazing.
Until your cat tried to eat it. If you get near my K-pop, I'm really mad.
That's exactly why I don't want to grow up. I shall forever be a Toys R Us kid. Damn it. I refuse.
Exactly. Exactly. Is it bad that I knew that the minute I got that Christmas present that just tickled me pink?
Which one?
The dragon.
Mm-hmm. I forget when I brought that home.
That was so cute. It's so cute, and I had to hide it because I don't want little fingers to destroy it. And they want it so bad.
You got dragon from Mother's Day from me.
Yes. Honey, I've got 2 boxes of dragons in my closet that I don't keep out because hands of little kids.
Mm-hmm.
And that day that Zia pulled my clown off of the shelf is burned into my memory forever.
So you try to keep it all away from little kids.
Well, you remember how my clowns went up when your brother was tall enough to reach my dresser.
Yeah, I remember. He gets excited over toys still.
That's good, but we all should. Fuck.
He said, toys at 26 still hit amazingly as if I was 5.
Okay, I'm not saying my actual age on here because nobody needs to know I'm just an old biddy, but I still like Happy Meals. And not for the food, because the food fucking sucks.
We like toys. We like toys.
You know why I like being around kids so much?
Why?
Because I can play and nobody thinks I'm weird.
God. You know, I'll never forget the days alone. With the giant freaking, I had this giant little home thingy. And I used to play with blocks and the little cherries from, like, this game. And I forget what type of dolls I had, but I'd sit there and just play when I was in my teenage years.
Dude, y'all
It
and
made
your
me
Barbies.
excited.
Y'all and your Barbies, man. I don't know why you all rip their heads off of them.
I do agree. Happy Meals when certain toys come along are amazing.
Yes. Yes,
Oh no,
yes.
and I can tell you why we liked ripping the heads off of Barbies.
Why?
Pop! That's the noise it made too.
Do you know how disturbing it is to walk down the stairs and start finding a trail of Barbie heads and limbs?
Hey, you know what? Some of that was my fault, and my first thought was, I just want to know how to put it together and how it works.
Actually, it would go clothes, Barbie head, Barbie leg.
You remember when we did
A
it?
shoe? A kid shoe, not a Barbie shoe.
You remember when we put the Barbie heads on the ceiling fan and let them fly across the
Yes. You know what? That Barbie head was literally my favorite antenna ornament. I was so mad when those kids took it. Scared the shit out of that little boy, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I let that pass, but when they keyed my car, I was like, that's it, you little fuckers.
Well, look at that one.
You know they were the ones going around breaking everybody's windows, right?
Yeah.
You know that's why my window was the only one that didn't get busted, because I went down there and raised hell with their mom.
God. You raised a lot of hell in my childhood, didn't you?
Dude, what did you expect? Okay, I hate to be typical, but I'm a fucking redhead. What do you expect from me?
That's what I expect.
I am fierce about my cubs. and my car.
Yeah, I'm starting to get there, am I not?
Yes.
I really am just like, I'm a mama bear.
Well, you gotta be. You gotta be.
Gotta protect the cubs.
You know, a lot of times I went down to the school to talk to them damn teachers. There was no reason I should have been in that building.
I love how your first question to them was, what'd you do?
Of course it was. I can't even remember her name. Eric had her right after you did.
It was...
See, that is a shining example of people
Miss R.
Yes, that is a shining example of someone that should not be a teacher. You know, some of these people, I don't know why they get into the business. I really don't. But that's not saying that they all were. You guys had some really amazing teachers in there, too.
We did.
I just adored Mr. Rodiker.
Miss Bowman, the one that was doing the tests on me.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, 3rd grade. I remember when we found out I was dyslexic and we had to put me through 5 years of speech therapy.
Well, there was more to it than just the dyslexia. I mean, you are a severely audio learner. And that hinders your experience when you have to read a lot. Oh, I went rounds with them about that too. They're like, we don't understand what's going on here. We want to do this, that, or the other. And I was like, why don't you have somebody read it to her? I was like, my child is not dumb. And they started reading the questions to you, and you started acing all of your tests.
And that's what I liked about Mr. Ducros, is he always helped me out when I was confused on something, and we would actually sit there and listen to stuff, and I always found joy in that English teacher, so...
And see, that's good. I had 2 teachers that literally changed a lot of things for me, and they were both social studies teachers.
Yeah?
Yeah. Mr. Zumbro in 5th grade. And I used to play chess with him. I used to love that. I used to sit and play chess with him, and we'd talk about the craziest shit. But, yeah, he was one of my favorite teachers that really made an impact on me. And then Mr. Keys in high school. He made me want to be a social studies teacher.
Nice. Oh, I told you about how I can go to Red Rocks Community College and get my associates in applied sciences, right? You know, I would do another year of school just to get that, and that way I'd have dual degrees.
Yeah.
Which is a little bit more of a valuable thing in this day and age, too.
Yeah, depending on what they are.
Well, for my line of work?
For your line of work, yes. For other stuff, no. And then they hand out a lot of useless degrees, let me tell you.
Yeah. But you know what the good thing about it all is?
What?
The determination to actually go through with it. And knowing that no matter what, I can do it. And a lot of people can do it too. It just takes a lot of determination and staying motivated.
Yes, it does. And a thirst for knowledge.
Yes, a very big thirst for knowledge.
I don't have my opinion. Knowledge is paramount to everything.
Yeah.
I don't want to be blissful. I want to know how it works. Why does it do that when you do that? Why? Come on, let's figure this out.
You're funny.
Oh, dude, I was like, what, 7, I think? And my brother and I took my bike apart. Like the whole thing, every little piece of it. Just to see how it worked.
Did you guys put it back together?
We couldn't. So I didn't have a bike anymore because we took it apart and my dad wouldn't put it back together. No, I think the part that tipped him was the fact that we even took the links out of the chain.
Oh goodness, links out of the chain, huh?
Yes, we even took each of the links out of the chain.
You know, I've always wanted to do that to my bike, but I never did.
Oh, we did. My brother was awesome, but sometimes a very bad influence. Oh, it's okay. We'll put it back together. He didn't know how to put it back together, and he damn well knew I wouldn't remember. I took my alarm clock apart because I wanted to see how it worked. Got yelled at for taking the batteries apart.
Really?
You could blow up. What the hell are you doing? I just wanted to see what was inside of it. And the best bouncy balls in the world are the little rubber ball in the middle of a golf ball. It's surrounded by a bunch of shit that looks like rubber bands. And it's about yay big.
Well, I guess.
And it's red. And that fucking thing bounces.
So I was saying, instead of making a canyon, I guess we're making mountains, which is okay.
That's what you were doing to begin with.
Yeah, I was trying to make mountains because.
Just keep going. You'll end up with it somewhere.
Yeah, that's the best thing about Earth. We could decide what you want to do with it. Sorry, everybody, it's not a canyon. I really wanted to make a canyon. You know how to get to Bell's Canyon? Or can you tell me how to get to Bell's Canyon?
Yeah, nobody's gonna get that right.
I gotta shout out Mr. Baldwin.
Yeah.
I actually have to because he. Some of the stories he reads are crazy. And you gotta listen to the one about Bell's Canyon because that one just has me like. That's a crazy experience, but that's freaking hilarious. So there's this joke that every time we're talking about like canyons or like mountains or something, you know how to get to Bell's Canyon? Or can you tell me how to get to Bell's Canyon?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm just as human as you are. Maybe a little crazy. I don't know. You know what else we can actually talk about? And I actually feel okay talking about it, but, you know, this is a good escape from reality because it gives me a chance to exercise my brain a little bit.
Yes, ma'am. Decompress. See, that's why art is such a wonderful thing. And I understand because shooting is my zen. Why do you think I spent so much of my life in the woods?
Yeah. You know, I think that's also the other thing too, is that when you fully think about what you want to do, you just go for it. Even with my chemical imbalance, the cool thing about it is that you're right, it brings out this whole new perspective, and you're just like, oh.
Yeah. And isn't that what it's all about? It's just perspective on things.
It is. That's why, can you tell me how to get the Bell's Canyon?
I love you.
I'm gonna keep doing that.
I love you.
You love me too.
I'm like, I don't know now. So, how about that rain?
Yeah, that was beautiful.
Still cold as fuck.
It's still somewhat rainy out.
I know, we need the rain.
You do. I want to go puddle hopping.
You know, I'm wondering if the irises might still bloom this year. Because last time we went out there and looked at them, they hadn't started putting buds up yet.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You know, right now I'm just building the shape of it, right?
Yeah. That's what I said. Just do your thing. You might end up with a canyon anyway.
Oh, it does look similar to one, does it not?
It does. It almost looks like it's continued the...
Yeah, you know, the Continental Divide actually works.
Well, that's actually what it looks like. And did you know Eisenhower Tunnel goes over it?
Yes, I did.
I hate that fucking tunnel.
Mhm.
Yeah, because every time we were in the Eisenhower Tunnel, it was a traffic jam and we were stuck in the middle of this fucking tunnel for hours.
You know what my favorite place on this planet is?
What?
Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco.
Were you as disappointed as I was that it wasn't gold?
Yes, I was. I was actually kind of pissed. I was like, why is this not fucking gold?
That was the first thing I asked my mom when I saw it too. It is beautiful. It's kind of freaky going across it, but
You know,
it is beautiful.
after going across it, because we got stuck in the middle of it, and I've been having these really messed up nightmares before. And my first thought was, oh goodness, we're gonna fall through the bridge.
Yeah, you've been watching too much Final Destination. Yeah, no, that is a pretty... It's an impressive thing. Oh my goodness.
I wouldn't say it's too much Final Destination.
It's natural. You're how high over the water with nowhere to go, with cars gonna drop on you if you fall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. It's like walking across the Royal Gorge.
I've never been.
Oh, we've got to go.
I was
You
also
have been, but you were probably too young to remember it. You've been quite a few times actually when you guys were younger.
Yeah, I might have been too young to remember it.
Do you remember we were on a family outing and I had a camera and I was knelt down on the bridge taking pictures through the hole?
And you seemed kind of scared?
That was the Royal Gorge.
Yeah. I can actually remember it.
And we took that little zip line thing all the way to the bottom of it.
Yep.
But we didn't have that time that day to do the train. And we also did the gondola.
Yes, I remember the gondola.
And you guys rode the Ferris wheel. Or not, the carousel. While I was running around taking pictures.
That looks fucking amazing.
So yes, you have been to the Royal Gorge.
The Garden of the Gods.
Yes, the Garden of the Gods is beautiful.
Have I been?
It's in Colorado Springs. I think you went with my dad once.
That's right, I did.
Didn't Dad and Cynthia take you?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. Where it's big red pillars that look like statues of gods.
Yeah.
That's why it's called the Garden of the Gods. Or probably not, because it's actually quite beautiful in the summertime.
In the Windy Cave.
Cave of the Winds?
Yep.
Oh, I love the Cave of the Winds.
I have been to the Cave of the Winds. You know, that was one trip I didn't get to go on. And it was because I got in a lot of trouble. And I promise I didn't do it, but I took the blame.
You know that new part of the cave?
Mm-hmm.
I got to see that before they opened it. The museum used to do, well, they still do. They do stuff like that where they had just found it and they were doing tours for members of the museum. And my dad got us tickets to go see it, and so we got to go into it before they paved it and put the lights in and all of that stuff. And you can't go down the hole that I went down anymore. But it was fun. I felt like a penguin in a really, really tight space going head first down this thing.
Damn.
And there was a wall. I don't know if the wall is still there, but there was a wall where people put letters and poems up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know, I thought it was pretty cool. I've also been to Carlsbad's Cavern.
Yeah. Alfred. But yeah, I mean, like, let's see. Oh, that's actually cool.
I almost died hiking to a cave at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a fun experience.
I bet.
Huh?
I bet.
Oh no, because the next time we went up there was during the daylight, and I saw how far the drop I almost fell was. I cried again, let's just put it that way.